Sailor, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning.
All right. I tried to record this yesterday, but the audio for the game was louder than the mic audio. Anyway, game on my Atlanta. Decent tier spread. Yes, I'm top tier, but there's enough sevens around to make this count. It is in Atlanta after all. Wet piece of paper with a citadel. And I start out not in the most ideal position. I've got to cut my way across, eventually over to C for the islands and do the American cruiser trick. Hopefully be able to shift to B if needed. At least at C, I can use the cover to my advantage along with my radar, you know, the usual thing with a cruiser with radar. At least an American one anyway. And if there's any sudden outbursts of barking, I'm sitting here with probably the best dog in the world, whose name is Lux. He's a little black Chihuahua pug mix that I'm keeping an eye out for at the moment. And he's my lap dog. Probably can play the game better than I can. We'll have to see. Alright, coming up on C. Our destroyer is going into B. And we're starting to cap C as well. We have two destroyers going to A. Enemy destroyer in B, putting pressure, stopping the cap. And I think from my RDF, I've already ascertained there's at least two ships heading to C. I slow up. That's an enemy shores, I believe. Yes, he's fired, but he was counting on me continuing to go forward. Pop radar in case their destroyer's close. He's visually spotted. I was expecting possibly another one here. Dousta makes the same mistake, and then somebody else makes again the same mistake. I think my RDF is now picking up the destroyer at B, who's still visible. Our Jervis is taking torpedoes. He's up against at least 3 cruisers and a destroyer. So I'm going to push up and try and help him. We have a fairly decent force here to counter their push. Thinking about dropping denial torps, but that's just, they won't even do that. Looking at their Jervis. Detected by planes. He's just turning off my shells. Now I can put rounds into the Dousta. Rounds out. Still haven't hit anything. Pray and spray. Spray and pray. Dousta's turning in. We'll get this. There we go. Take a couple rounds. Dousta took a bad hit. Getting more rounds in.
Anti-aircraft gun cruiser.
Right, let's see if we can do this. And? Got him.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Oops. So our destroyer's down. I have 10 seconds left before I get radar back. And our drive around the corner has slowed to a halt, it looks like. We have A, we are capping B now. Destroyer, oh yes. Jervis? Haha. Yep, and you don't want to be there. Radar's up. We got 1 kill. Can we make this 2? Spoiler alert. Yeah, we can.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Another bird sanctuary. Taking a lot of rounds for that, though. Looks like a puffin rookery. Alright, Nagato, New Mexico, and Helena are visible. I'm going to push up, see what I can see here. Our Gallant goes down at B. Trying to get rounds into the Koenig, but they'll probably fall well behind. And those will probably hit the top of the mountain there. That's the Kestrel Rookery. Alright, Normandy's pushing hard. Probably not the wisest thing, but it might make him the tasty target. So I can stick my nose out here and shoot at something. Shores is out of range. New Mexico's coming into range, though. So is the Nagato. Shores gets the Normandy on fire. Normandy returns fire. Our other Normandy goes down. This is... Okay, so we're stopping points now on C, but they've got their Nicholas in C. So I'm going to take the chance to come out here and fire on the Nicholas. And then spread the love. Nagato coming in, he's not looking at me, I may as well throw some rounds on him. Nicholas is now in a better area for a firing solution. Took out his engine. Then he disappears. Now let's see. Other New Mexico rounds out. Looking at the Nagato. That is the fun with this ship, the high rate of fire, high volume. I can give a little bit to anybody who's in range. Unfortunately the range is pretty low, but... Now he's thinking about, nope. Yep, he's looking at me, so I turn off. And just pour the rounds in. Yes, IFHE, if I didn't mention before, is equipped on this commander. We are up on points. Enemy is holding C. We now have 2 battleships over here to their 2 with a destroyer and at least 1 cruiser. Our other Normandy goes down to their Nicholas. Our Indianapolis has pushed off of B. Something is in B for the enemy team now, capping it. And our southwestern force is pretty far out of the battle. Helena is pushing in behind the Indianapolis. I'm going to try and render assistance to the Indy. I've got a couple of targets that are in gun range. The New Mexico on the right, of course, I can't get to, so Nagato it is. Radar goes up just in case. Also to say hi. How you doing? Oh, he stopped, so I'm going to stick my nose out here enough to get at least 3 turrets on him. Rounds out. Torpedoes, he's out of range. Get a fire. He's still looking at the Indy, because the Indy's probably presenting something of a broadside to him. But there's this wet paper towel over here. Go over to AP just to see what happens. Yeah, 5,000. He fires his rear turrets at me. Takes some damage, but I get away with it. More rounds in. That's 3.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Backing up, making sure nobody is flanking me. Now it's the New Mexico's turn. Moss and Helena are coming in. Pushing up to give the New Mexico some of the same treatment, but that Helena is coming in. So I'm going to take the chance of going broadside, getting all my guns to bear, and then looking for the Helena. That's my next target. So, well, I'm pretty much on my own because our battleship at C1 or C10 is behind an island. Dump some denial torps. Got 4 hits in on the Helena. Task Force West is still just hanging out on A. I don't know. They must have a destroyer or something they are dealing with. Detected by planes. Pop my AAA. Helena fires. Turns broadside. Those are going to go a little bit to the stern. Now, the Helena is something to fear, but no, this is. I feel pretty good about this. I have a slightly higher rate of fire, so let's see what happens. He's at 5,000. I just took 2,500 off, and that's 4.
We destroyed an enemy cruiser.
On fire.
The ship is on fire.
Task Force West is finally
Problem solved, sir.
pushing off of A. I know those have no chance of hitting him. I doubt they, even if he drives straight at me as fast as he can, that they will have any chance of even pinging his sonar. Shores coming up.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
I'm asking for assistance. I'm not in the best. Yeah, I suppose I could run, but then I'm not going to be able to sink anything or draw fire. Okay. So I got 2 battleships and a cruiser bearing down on me. There's 2 destroyers out there somewhere. And another battleship. Shores is coming into range. I'm going to wait for him to fire on our battleship. There it is. There's their Moss. So he's looking at our battleship. He's got a pretty high rate of fire. Okay, Koenig. No, I'm going to go for the Shores. Going to turn off, though. And I'm going to try and get as many rounds in while he's tempted by the big fat battleship that he's shooting at. And help the battleship. Ooh, their Gallant just took a bad hit there. So both their destroyers are low health. I've gotten 3, now 4 salvos off on this guy before he starts to realize maybe he should. No, he's still not. So we're up to like 6 or 7 salvos. That's 8. That's 9. I'm going to take over the camera, just because it's getting hitchy. That's 10. And he's finally firing on me. Battleship's putting rounds into him. I've got twice the health. I should have landed those. Still up 3,000 roughly. There we go. I'm up 5,000. Just trying to maneuver like crazy. On fire. And
Cry havoc! And let's slip the dogs of war.
Problem solved, sir.
throw a repair. On fire. And I let out the obligatory woot in chat. And hopefully everybody appreciates that Wadawik was weest. Alright. Koenig coming around. Five minutes left on the clock. Just dropping those behind him. I gotta adjust. There we go. Those look good. Nobody looking at me. The New Mexico might be. I think they're tempted by that battleship. Got a fire on the Koenig. Now is the Koenig looking at me?
That's how it's done.
Nope. And I'm sheltered from fire from the New Mexico by the island. Koenig is pushed out. Can we make this 6? And I'm just sitting here broadside. Fires are going. 6. 6.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Down. I'll take it. 6 kills. We have 2 caps. We're up about just under 300 points, 350. Alright, gonna take over the camera again. Two enemy battleships left, 2 destroyers pushing in with a modestly healthy battleship in support. Gajimata firing from smoke. It's gonna be chipping away at him for a while, but we have the caps and we have them bottled up. They have no destroyers to do an end run on us. Kamikaze dumping torps, forcing that New Mexico off. Looks like the other New Mexico is on fire. And we'll just wind this down. 70 points and 2.5 minutes left. Six kills, 378 gun hits, 3 spots, 5 fires, 2 incapacitations. Got myself a plane and a Kraken. And I note in chat, 6 kills on an Atlanta. And Captain Lefty goes, Jesus! Gajimata gets their deep water torps out. And I mistype, but I say that's getting recorded. And it is. Hopefully the audio will be a little better this time and not as buried. And Lefty says, most of the times you're the windshield. This time you're a badass bug. And that's game. Now to go see if this recorded. What do you think, Lux? Do you think it recorded? Oh, he's asleep now.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor?